field. So we will see a divergence in stats. And here we go in the throne room. Both racers here, Jackimus running the Dragon Quest III Sage and AzraelRavenheart going with the Dragon Warrior Hero Sprite. They're going to get this spiel from the king, and we're going to see, what do we see here in the throne room? Fairy water in the first chest, in the second chest, silver harp. That fairy water may be helpful if this level 1 is a bit tough. They're going to, of course, get a magic key. They've got outside and repel, which is not going to help them too much here in this early game, but still some very useful spells to have. I did not quite catch that attack power as Jackimus took a glimpse.
I did not either. Quite the quick glance on there, but no towns or caves in the immediate area, but we're finding some slimes. Very killable.
Yeah, I think both players here are going to be very, very comfortable killing this blue slime, and chat is letting you know that it's a 7th strength start, so not too bad here. Jackimus, meanwhile, not afraid whatsoever, is going to try to get some exploration done here immediately. Same with Az, and oh, the heads-up play here from Jackimus is going to sprinkle fairy water on that magician. Get that quick level 2. Let's see what we get. Looks like we got 3, 2, 14, 10. I believe we got a spell, but Jackimus didn't quite check what it was more focused on this cave. It is the bonus cave, Stones of Sunlight Cave, and inside finds a torch.
Yes, and as we're watching Jackimus gaining the level, AzraelRavenheart finding our first AK-47 Armored Knight, and that ends as exactly as you would expect at this level, goes back to the king.
Yeah, we see AK-47s here pretty early on in the seed, and Jackimus is going to contend with a pretty nasty Wraith Knight himself. Level 2, doesn't really matter what your stats are, you're probably not going to win that fight.
Absolutely not at this stage. Looks like Azrael over here trying to farm some lower level enemies, realizing as soon as you walk out of this zone, there are terrible things to befall you.
And Jackimus making a pretty heads-up play here, trying to throw torches at a Magidraki to get up to that level 3 there. He falls asleep, gets hurt, wakes up, throws the second torch, and he is going to pick himself up level 3, already taking an experience lead, making use of those torches. 1, 1, 4, 6, a new spell. Don't quite know what it is yet, though. Oh, it's the spell of heal. That's huge.
Absolutely, and Azrael looking over here looks like they went for the Marsh Death, going back to the king yet again. Jackimus kind of taking the same avenue here, finding the easy slime to kill.
Yeah, and it looks like, based on the way this map is going, okay, it looks like, I thought this might have been a peninsula here, but no, the landmass does continue to extend past this this cave here, but these torches, I mean, chat's been talking about it so far, they're going to be absolutely massive, and I do believe, Paradox, that Jackimus has proven himself worthy of taking these torches and getting maximum value out of them.
I completely agree. I mean, there's no towns, there's nothing to buy, there's nothing they need inventory space for. However, this werewolf has other ideas immediately.
Yeah, werewolves without skills are definitely ideal towards the end game, but in the early game, it doesn't matter if they have skills. Their claws are going to tear through your flesh like butter, regardless of what they may be hiding behind that.
Azrael over here gaining the next level, calling even with Jackimus over here as he continues to explore.
Meanwhile, Jackimus killing that slime with our first Kaishin no Ichigeki of this race.
And that torch strategy totally working out for Jackimus. Getting level 4, let's see what we have here. We have a 5 power, 22 speed, 2 and 12. That agility boost, major help for Jackimus.
Absolutely. If we could see what their totals are up on the stats, Jackimus now very quickly going to be reaping the benefits of his strength agility builds. It's going to allow him to potentially start exploring a little bit earlier as, again, for those in chat who are unfamiliar, when you're trying to run from a monster in this game, it basically looks at your agility, it looks at the enemy's agility. There's a little bit of percentage difference involved, but the end of the matter is that the higher your agility is, the more likely you are to run away from monsters that you can't fight. He may actually be able to get away from this Magic Wyvern here. No, it's going to put him to sleep, and it's going to give him, no, not quite the full wombo combo, just the regular Dragon Breath, but failing to run away twice, that's going to be enough to send Jackimus back to start.
Absolutely. And while Jackimus engaging that Maga Wyvern, Azrael engaging that Werewolf, going right back to the start themselves. Like a little bit of farming over here. That Magician completely killable. The Slime wants nothing to do with Jackimus over here, though. A little bit of a farming fight here. Magidraker has that sleep. Jackimus just sitting there, finally awakening. Azrael taking out the Magician. Back to sleep for Jackimus. This could be bad. Oh, he's still asleep. He's gonna cast Hurt, and that is gonna do it for Jackimus.
Unfortunate now that we have seen two enemies here with that sleep spell, and I do believe out of this starting zone, the only thing we've seen are Slimes, Magicians, and those Magidrakis, so maybe the Magician's a little bit more preferable here for getting those early levels, as Jackimus does find yet another one.
I completely agree. We've also seen some Wraith Knights, that rare AK-47, and I think we actually saw a Poltergeist as well, but definitely that Magician looking like the preferred kill at the moment.
Yeah, and it looks like their strength is still pretty low, only doing about 3 max damage to that Magician, so it's going to be pretty hard to take down a Poltergeist. Maybe Jackimus here, yes, he is going to dip into the Stones of Sunlight Cave, and he is going to try to increase that torch count a little bit higher. Those torches rolling, I believe, 6 to 9 damage, so anywhere from double to triple the amount of damage he would normally be expected to do, but no, just gonna grab one more and again try to rely on that somewhat above average agility to allow him to get a little bit more exploration done, as AzraelRavenheart does get to level 4.
Absolutely seeing that stat gain. And look, maybe a Townsville randomizer here. Maybe we're going to see 4 or 5 towns in close proximity, seeing as we haven't seen one yet.
Oh yes, here we go. And Jackimus actually holding back, not wanting to throw the torch, thinks he can take out the Scorpion just by punching it with his bare fist. So far, no skills coming out, and another Kaishin no Ichigeki finishes that Scorpion off.
Absolutely, punching for 16 definitely does something for when you want to eliminate a Scorpion, or just about anything in general. And another Poltergeist for us.
Absolutely, and AzraelRavenheart now finding the torches in the Stones of Sunlight Cave, so that may be able to help him get some early levels here. And again, Jackimus has the torches in his inventory, maybe wants to save them for something a little bit stronger here, is again content to just sit and do battle mano a mano with this Poltergeist. Knows he's got the heal in his back pocket, so as long as this thing doesn't whip out any special skills, can probably just rely on that. There it is. He should be able to win this fight and pick himself up level 5.
Absolutely. Not sure if I would have thrown the torch there, just to make the fight easier. Guess he's gonna burn the MP opposed to the items there.
He definitely does. And right now, at level 4, your only combat spell being heal and all this MP. Definitely making a decision there. And he does get the level 4 power, 4 speed, 3 hit points, 1 MP. And there it is, folks. Level 5 with the Hurt More. Jackimus has now blown the seed wide open.
Absolutely, and he is putting it to completely good use, taking out the first werewolf he sees. He gets a level, maybe 2. He gets 3 power, 1 speed, 3 hits, and 1 magic. Not a terribly effective level, but with that Hurt More, oh, he's going to do some damage.
And here we go, the revenge on the Armored Knight. However, can he survive this one hit? No. Armored Knights with the nasty DL2 breath, not something you want to see, as Armored Knights could be gatekeeping a potential item. They could appear in Charlock. Having that information up front is kind of nice, but also does not bode well for the end of this seed.
Absolutely not. I was thinking the exact same thing. What trap tiles might they be on? What floors of Charlock might they be on? That DL2 breath, definitely a bit of a game changer.
And on the other side of our stream here, AzraelRavenheart, no slouch, only about a minute behind, picking up that Hurt More, is going to use it to take out a Druid Lord, and now... folks, there is about a 40 experience difference, but that's about to get obliterated as long as this Hurt More doesn't fail to kill this Axe Knight. No, just rolls a little bit shy. That Axe Knight rolled near max HP, a little bit unlucky for AzraelRavenheart, but I want to stress that even though there is a slight experience difference here, Hurt More can change this in a second.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing you were. Went to Palm Face, watching Azrael hit for 63, thought it was over, and did not get through that Axe Knight.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, without sleep, without heal more, and with still pretty low power, no real good way of beating the Stone Man. And as Jackimus keeps getting sent back, here we go, Azrael picking up that disappointing level 6, so now we are tied in terms of levels.
Absolutely, and I was actually just looking at the experience, but now looking at the gold. Oh, we have the Fun Police. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt myself for the Fun Police, because that's what they do. But not really a gold rush here, because we can't keep enough gold to get to the next town.
No, it's really unfortunate here. No towns yet seen at 12 minutes. Both of our runners just getting stopped, even sometimes by the smallest of enemies here. Again, this Magidraki does know the sleep spell, but with that little bit of strength growth that we have seen level by level, Jackimus does manage to take it down. And Azrael even having trouble getting away from a gold man, unfortunately.
Yep, and thank you, chat. Loving that Fun Police icons over there. Totally wrecking on Jackimus's parade.
To answer a quick question in chat, yes, Jack did manage to find Stones of Sunlight Cave probably 2 or 3 minutes into the seed, did farm up some torches, was able to use them to kill a Magidraki to get a quick level 3, and I believe he even got level 4 that way as well. So yes, the torches have been critical, the strength is quite low, and here we go, Jackimus getting to level 7. What do we have here? 10 power, 21 more speed, 10 hit points, and 1 MP. MP already looking pretty decent at this point, so anything in the power, agility, or HP department is going to be a welcome addition.
Absolutely. Now we just need somewhere to buy some stats.
Yeah, that gold count is getting up there for Jackimus. Could potentially, if he doesn't get wrecked by this Stone Man, he could maybe buy himself some chainmail, but no, the punch more is too strong. Jackimus once again going back to start.
Yep, over there on Azrael's side, joining Jackimus at level 7, getting that stat boost, continuing to look south to see what we have around here.
And also, I don't remember if this is on Az's stream or Jackimus's, but we can confirm the werewolves were holding back earlier. They have that DL2 breath. We have 2 Sharlock monsters confirmed with DL2 breath now.
Absolutely. The werewolf and the AK-47, the armored knight.
One other quick thing to note, pay attention to these agility gains. We're already starting to see a divergence. Jackimus got 21 on that level up, while Azrael got 19. So that agility difference from here is going to start to grow. AzraelRavenheart does manage to find a town. What's it going to be?
Oh, we have double towns. Jackimus finds Hawksness. Azrael finds Cole. Goes directly to the search spot. Oh, and
boy.
Yep, that's a game changer.
Alrighty, well, and also Silver Shield here available in Cole. That is some important information. If either of these runners can trigger a gold grind, I mean, Azrael does have the information first, does go ahead and pick himself up that leather armor. But now knowing that that's there, if we could get a gold grind going here, could potentially pick up that Silver Shield for a huge defense boost.
Absolutely. Jackimus over here in Hawksness gaining level 8. Nothing terribly significant opposed from the 18 magic points. Does go to the search spot and finds a golem. Looks like Azrael is about to discover the same thing. That golem very difficult without that fairy's flute.
Yeah, exactly. Although, no, AzraelRavenheart does not have heal more just yet, but that sword could make a huge difference in terms of trying to take down that golem early, trying to get that information early. Yeah, Jackimus did just barely miss Cole, just over to the right of where Hawksness is, but I believe based on the movements here, it looks like Jackimus has found Swamp Cave.
That's what it looks like to me, too. Looks like he's trying to do a lot of run. Only has 6 health and no magic to heal with. So just trying to do some exploration here before the inevitable.
It looks like that heroic run attempt has brought him to the opposite continent. Was waiting to see if maybe it could take him to the back of Tantagel, maybe it could take him to the back of Granham, but no, it is just a second continent. Jack, I believe, just missed Cole. I believe he was kind of veering more towards the left, and I believe Cole is about half a screen to the right, so he just happened to see Hawksness first. So hopefully he goes back that way shortly, and does see Cole is there so he can pick up his sword.
Absolutely. Here goes Azrael back into Cole, going to the end, casting his repel. For anyone not familiar with the vanilla game, the golem actually guards Caitlin, and essentially you cannot do that fight without the fairy's flute. With the randomizer, we have a bit more options, and while I'm talking, the fun police attack Jackimus again.
And the Armored Knight shows that it does not need its automatic axe, that DL2 breath, more than enough. Synchronized sends back to start for both Az and Jackimus.
So now it's interesting. We have a bit of information. We've got a couple of caves. We've got some pretty nice items if we can initiate the gold grind. Looks like Jackimus is going to explore a bit more north here. Maybe he'll go across the bridge? Nope. Opts to go straight north.
And it looks like Az going to go ahead and put that Erdrick sword to use, knows that if he doesn't manage to get that werewolf with 1 hurt more, probably going to have about single-digit health, and already we're seeing a slight difference in just what that sword allows you to do. Now, not having the information yet of what's on the spike tile, no, choosing not to go back to Hawksness just yet, does want to see what's in this cave first, as Jackimus gets level 9.
14 more agility, 12 more spell points, and wins against the AK-47. Lucks out. Those armored knights also have heal, but did not get that dragon's breath.
Not quite yet, and Azrael, declining to check and see, had the torch, had the opportunity to go see what the spike tile was. but just wants to see what's on the opposite side first. Should be able to get a little bit further on this continent than Jackimus did just a moment ago. However, Jackimus has now found a town in the middle of this desert in the west.
Oh, it's Breckenary and the Motel 6. Ooh, option for a large shield, half plate, some pretty decent options. Not too much gold for Jackimus, and just kind of walks away.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, was just shy of those items. However, with these armored knights sitting right outside of the aforementioned Motel 6, could potentially grind up some money, but no, these merciless armored knights, probably sitting around 75%. Dragon Lord Two Breath say, no, you go back to start. I'll take half your gold. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Over here at Azrael, reaching Garenham, I believe. A lot of options here if we can find a magic key. Not sure that we've seen one yet, but definitely plenty of options with a key here. We have the inside room to farm, plus the outside cave.
Yeah, exactly. And Azrael did take the chance to pick himself up some herbs and some torches. I assume that he most likely picked up a dragon scale there as well. Will pick himself up a chainmail with the rest of the pocket change he has on him. But unfortunately, yes, without keys and no mountain cave, no caves yet, no free keys out there yet. We may need to find Rimmildar before we can figure out what is hiding behind that locked door.
Absolutely. Hoping Azrael is going... Oh, he sees Charlotte Castle. That's a good bit of information to have as well.
Exactly. We do eventually need to put together that rainbow drop to forge that bridge to get over into Charlotte Castle and beat the Dragon Lord and win the game. So having that little bit of information early can pay off late.
Absolutely. Hoping that Azrael is going to equip his skill here, seeing it so many times with so many runners. They purchase the scales and they find the rings and never equip them. So hoping he's going to get that bonus.
Yeah, I do need to make sure that you use that in your inventory. You can use it either in battle or outside of battle. I think also sometimes one of the more useful uses of having that dragon scale is when you do want to set up that gold grind. You don't want to take a turn. Using that dragon scale can allow you to take some extra damage. However, we see armored knights also holding on to that heal spell. Also, not very effective against the Herdmore. It does allow Ravenheart to pick up a little bit of extra experience here.
Absolutely. Looking over here at chat, I'm completely agreeing. Those armor knights with that DL2 breath, definitely not going to be our farm if we need to have one later. Far too dangerous for that.
And quickly even up the experience total here, we see Axe Knights have Stop Spell. Could be effective now, but once we get Erdrick's armor, that's going to be a lovely thing to see, especially if it appears on a spike tile. Once you get Erdrick's armor, that Stop Spell is not going to do anything.
Absolutely. The only absolute immunity in Dragon Warrior, if you have Edric's armor, you are 100% immune. Azrael finding the Jerk Cave.
Yes, very important. That jerk will kick you out of his cave if you don't have Erdrick's token, but later we will need to go back there to get the Erdrick's or the rainbow drop. Meanwhile, Jackimus finally did find Cole, did pick himself up that sword.
Yep, completely. Looks like he's going to pick up a small shield over here, while Azrael over here, seeing what Caitlin might have to offer him, might check some coordinates. We'll have to see.
Without keys might be a little bit difficult to do that, but yes, we'll need to keep in mind the location of Caitlin. It will be important later. May even want to check one of those weapon shops to see if he can pick himself up some magic armor if we go too much longer without finding the ultimate piece of equipment.
Absolutely. It didn't look like Azrael went too far into Catlin there. Looked content to actually just find the town, check around, and kind of walk out.
It looks like we're going to have simultaneous level 10s, assuming that Jackimus picks up this Star Wyvern. I believe I saw 1, 3, 8, 14. Let's go ahead and confirm here on Jackimus' screen. Yes, 1 power, 3 response speed, 7 hit points. Remember, Jackimus is on that strength agility build, and 14 hit points. Sorry, magic points.
Absolutely. It looks like they're trying to continue exploring. We might be a little key locked at this point. Azrael enjoying the sleep spell from the Star Wyvern.
Azrael's purchase of that chainmail already paying off, most likely made the difference there in being able to withstand that attack from that Star Wyvern, pick up that experience, and just like that, Azrael with a slight advantage in counters and hurt more effectiveness, making all the difference here.
Looks like Azrael going to explore through the swamp, not finding anything there, burning a couple of heal spells. But if you will look over here to the left, Jackimus has found the key city of Romuldar.
And this is going to be absolutely huge here, as with 546 gold, he can afford a full complement of keys. I imagine he'll dip right out and right back in to go spend 2 keys to check the free item in the inn. And then as soon as he finds Garanham, we will know what's in the bag.
Absolutely, and if he dies between now and then, we're probably going to be able to check out what's in the armory, what's outside of Tanticle Castle. Whole lot of opportunities now open. He searches the chest, finds an herb.
That is a very, very expensive herb, unfortunately.
Interesting, I thought he had the gold to just basically go back in and refill. Maybe not choosing to do so.
Yeah, I think he knew that he wanted to go check out this cave first. Looking like he's pretty close to his max HP, max MP. Not sure exactly how far off the max he is, but not wanting to spend that extra time is going to make his way through. I'm not sure what cave. Oh, no, this is the mountain cave. He has found the mountain cave. This is 5 potential free checks for Jackimus here. Not only that, but if he can find something to send him back to start, this could be a gold grind opportunity.
Absolutely, and while Jackimus over there exploring, Azrael going back to Catlin, staying at the 5-star inn, the most expensive inn typically in the game, and continues exploring. So not sure what the strategy was there, unless he purchased something I did not notice.
Might just want to top off as, wow, Jackimus choosing to go down first, finds the fairy flute, then goes up to the top left 2 chests, finds himself the Stones of Sunlight, one of the required items to finish the game, as well as a cursed belt, which tells us at least one of the overworld spots should have an important item here, going to slowly bonk his way to this last chest. Magic Wyvern blocks him before he can get there.
Yep, and while Jackimus checking that out, I do believe Azrael purchased that large shield out of Garanham. It looks like he was selecting it. I did glance away, but think he did purchase that. Thank you, Tracking, for highlighting that for us.
Alrighty, the experience gap starting to widen a little bit here, although Jackimus did manage to close it up a little bit, takes out the green dragon. Jackimus finding a little bit of gold here in the mountain cave. Question in chat, the sword checks off one of those major items on the search spot, right? Yes, that is correct. In our current version of the randomizer, the sword could be one of the options. In fact, was in coal in this particular seed. So perhaps that cursed belt could have been that sword. No guarantees yet that Hawksnest or the world map have anything important.
Azrael back over here in Garanham, gonna talk to the weapons dealer. What is he interested in? Buying the half plate. upgrading the chainmail.
Alrighty, that is a very nice, convenient upgrade here, and gonna go ahead and take a top off here at the inn. It looks like Jackimus walking back and forth here on this bottom floor. Only 15 HP left. This Magic Wyvern gonna put him to sleep, gonna breathe some fire on him, gonna send him back to start. Make no mistake, this is exactly what Jackimus wanted. He did want to take this intentional death. This will set up what we call the chest glitch, and Jackimus basically hoping to find some gold here in this treasury.
Absolutely, it has to do with the ram. Oh, and Jackimus hits gold essentially on the first chest.
And for those in chat who are not familiar with how this base game works, basically the game tracks in one bite up to 8 chests that you have opened. And the game doesn't want you to be able to open a chest more than once, as we're doing here. And so what happens is, when you pick up the 5 chests in the mountain cave and then you die, the game still keeps those 5 chests in that bit. And then when you get the 3 chests that the game doesn't want you to pick up again out of the throne room, those get loaded for a total of 8. Now the game has nowhere to put these chests in the treasury, and so you get to open them over and over and over again. I don't think I saw anything too consequential out of the other chests, maybe an herb, maybe a couple of other items, but we have what we want right here. Jackimus does know about the silver shield in coal, and is going to slowly work his gold value up to what he feels is most important, and indeed it is that silver shield.
Absolutely. Looks like he's going to also go check what's in the basement of Tantagle, and Azrael over here in Hawksness checking the search spot, finding there's a golem there, and wants no part of it.
No, unfortunately, until we get a little bit more HP, and more importantly, that heal more spell, it's going to be pretty difficult. That golem punches really, really hard. Even in late game with full gear, you can easily expect to take up to 40 damage from that golem. So really needing to pick up some more levels before dealing with that thing.
Absolutely. Looking over here at Jackimus, I am horrible at calling out caves aside from the marsh cave here. What do you see over there, Lav? Which one are we in here?
Looks like oh boy, we have found Erdrick's tomb, 1 free chest. The tablet cave had the armor, so now Jackimus, with both of Erdrick's pieces of equipment, will now be immune to stop spell, will take half damage from hurt spells, and that dreaded Dragon Lord 2 breath. That is huge.
Absolutely, and I would not be surprised at all if Jackimus is going to make a beeline for that silver shield while they have the money.
Absolutely. Once Jackimus picks up that silver shield, and Cole is going to get stalked by this armor knight just briefly, is weighing his options here momentarily, but oh no, the first hurt more missed. He's going to choose his options. He's going to try to run. He gets away, knowing he can't win that fight. If he did roll another Hurt More Breath, DL2 Breath, would have been guaranteed to kill him, but no, does get away with all of his money, is going to pick up this silver shield, and now has all the best equipment that you can get in this game.
Absolutely. The RNG is with Jackimus. I thought about the commentator's curse when he saw that armored knight and it breathed fire but got away. So now essentially Jackimus grinding for items, levels, and stats.
Absolutely, and you could even say maybe potentially a little bit of a payoff here in terms of that agility build choice. Again, giving him about 10% more agility than Az on the right side of your screen, and probably about 1 or 2 more percentage points on that run success. Huge payoff here.
Yep, and Fate catching up with Jackimus, gets away from that first AK-47, does not get away from the second, but no longer cares. Got the item Jackimus wanted, and now the grind is on.
Absolutely. Money is no object at this point here. The only thing left our runners could really want to buy are herbs, torches, maybe a dragon scale, as Jackimus does not have one yet, but all of those are chump change compared to what Jackimus just purchased.
Absolutely. Could maybe also see some fairy waters if someone wanted to try the fairy water stat, depending on how our power works out here, but completely agree. Chump change, we can get this from one decent mob.
Strength has looked a little bit low here as Azrael picks up level 12. I believe I saw 5 power, 0 HP. I did not see the agility or the MP. I thought I saw another spell, didn't quite catch that either, but non-consequential.
So the spell you didn't catch, I'm pretty sure that was Healmore.
Okay, never mind. If that was Healmore, that was very consequential indeed.
I'm pretty sure, actually looking over here at Jackimus, gonna confirm for us a 2, a 5, a 14, a 27, but pretty sure I saw a Healmore over there on Azrael.
Yes, Azrael did choose to use that Healmore, is picking that up at level 12. Now with Erdrick's sword, doesn't quite have the level of gear that Jackimus has, still needs, we now know that Erdrick's armor is key locked, so Az needs to find Rimildar or needs to find a key, potentially in the grave, in order to get that Erdrick's armor. But now, Jackimus, with all the best equipment in the game, looks like he might be considering taking on that golem.
Absolutely. I am a huge Hawkness fan, one of my favorite towns in the game. So interested to see if he's going to take this on.
Looks like Jackimus is going to make a bit of a play here. Oh yes, Jackimus does have the fairy flute. That is one thing that he has that AzraelRavenheart does not. Gonna blow the flute, gonna put the golem to sleep. Let's see, will it comply here? 15 damage. It's gonna take about 10 shots from Jackimus to kill this golem. Gonna need a very, very, very sleepy golem to win this fight, but he's gonna try.
Yep, and from initial looks, that golem does not want to go to sleep. He's gonna try it one more time.
Yeah, that golem chugging some Red Bull here in preparation, knows the fairy flute was out on the map, does not want to give up this item easily. Jackimus throwing out the herb, 13 more damage. The golem is still asleep, probably up to about 60 right now.
Oh, the golem wakes up. Here comes the last.
He's a little bit more than halfway through this fight. Probably going to need to throw a couple of heals out there to see if he can get through it.
Interesting. Does not opt to choose the heal, and the golem has his way.
Very unfortunate there. Jackimus also probably hoping that the golem might have some kind of a skill, maybe something he can stop spell, or maybe something else there that wasn't just him getting punched in the face, but no such luck. And we up here in the commentator's booth we know that Jackimus just needs to get to level 12 and he should be able to win that fight.
Absolutely. And as normal with these randomizers, knowledge is definitely part of the power. Looking at the different items here, both with the sword, Azrael has found the staff, while as Jackimus has found keys, these stones, and the flute. So definitely there is abilities in what you have explored.
Essentially, we see here an experience difference versus an exploration difference. The classic, which one will pay off in the end? Not quite sure, as Jackimus here now getting that Staff of Rain, and now has 2 of the 3 items that he needs for Sharlock access.
Absolutely. Lav, do you think it is that golem guarding the token?
It is quite possible indeed that golem is guarding the token. Could still also be on the map, as Jackimus has yet to find the town of Cantlin, which, if memory serves me, was on the opposite side of Swamp Cave.
I believe it was, and no one has had the ability to see if we have coordinates. So coordinates could also hold something. Asking something in chat. Do you think Hawkness has the token? Where do you think the token is?
Yeah, get your predictions in chat out now. Jackimus going through that swamp cave, wants to check that opposite continent again. If my memory serves me, he should, if he goes north, he should run into Cantlin and will be able to pick up those coordinates then.
Over here in chat, not too many predictions, just the prediction that one is definitely more dangerous than the other. Completely agree with you on that one.
All right, so Jackimus, skipping this first town, maybe had seen it before, does want to make sure that he has seen all of this side of the map, and he has nowhere to go up to the north. Is going to contend with this blue dragon really quickly. Strength still abysmally low, even Erdrick's sword barely piercing the scales of the blue dragon, but landing that 50-50 hurt more at the start of the fight is able to win and will continue his exploration of the second continent.
That's kind of amazing, watching an Edric sword at level 11 do 9 damage. It's just a testament to how much stats matter.
Absolutely, and now gonna dispatch this Axe Knight, is very close to the next level. Stone Man not gonna be able to fight this thing. No sleep spell, no heal more, no chance. However, Azrael has found something very important on the right side of our screen.
Absolutely. Azrael finding the town of Romuldar may be a bit of a misdirection there. Walks out but walks back in, completely expecting to fill up on keys and to kind of pick up all the information that Jackimus might have seen before.
Exactly, and just a few minutes removed here, Azrael will soon have all the information that Jackimus has, will likely be able to pick up that Erdrick's armor, pick up all of those other goodies. However, Jackimus has found the town of Garenham, ignores the item shop and the weapon shop, wants to go straight back and see what's in these 3 chests.
And here we go. He finds an herb. He finds a fighter's ring, stops to check the inventory, puts on the fighter's ring, and finds some gold. Gonna go check out the outside cave now.
That fighter's ring, don't knock it, +2 attack power for free in this very low attack power seed. It could absolutely make the difference. And here in the back of Garenham, we find Garen's grave. Is this even randomized?
I was just thinking that, and thinking with my knowledge of the vanilla game, one of my least favorite dungeons to run. Some very strong things down here in the vanilla game. But now we find a green dragon, completely killable with all of Edric's armor.
Absolutely, getting that free hurt more one-shot will get him to level 12. He doesn't know it yet, but we know that he's about to be very, very pleased here. Checks his spell list, finds that heal more spell. And the one unfortunate thing about Garen's grave is that it does take a while to clear. You get 3 chests at the top, but you're going to have to go down a few floors to get the last 2. Jackimus is going to full clear this. We could find the token here. That would be huge, but even if we don't, I imagine Jackimus will immediately want to go back and take on that golem.
That would seem to be the best search spot right now, but at the second level of Garenham's grave, Jackimus bypassing that, we did find the stone man. Here he goes checking the next chest, finds a key.
Gets his key back that he spent to get down here. Meanwhile, on AzraelRavenheart's side, Azrael did find the mountain cave, so he will pick up those stones of sunlight. Oh, on Jackimus' side, gonna do battle with the fun police, has that Erdrick sword, has that heal more. Now it comes down to whether or not this red dragon's got a skill up its sleeve.
Absolutely, totally a winnable fight if we're going to heal more through it. Looks like that's what Jackimus is going to do. Keeping an eye on it. In the meantime, Azrael continuing to explore.
Jackimus getting
Oh,
a little bit too bold there. The swings were so low that Erdrick's armor, silver shield paying off so much. Maybe thinking he could take the dragon out with that last attack, but no, not quite. It gets 33 to his 31 hit points sent back, and now, unfortunately, that very last chest at the bottom of the grave will probably go unsearched for a long time as he is going to beeline for Hawk's Nest.
and in the meantime, Azrael gained level 13 did not notice all the stats. I believe it looked like 15 agility. Chad over here still talking about the fun police and Jackimus. If anyone happened to know to those stats, if you'd post them, that would be great.
Yeah, unfortunately, I completely missed that as well. Was paying attention to Jackimus's battle with the fun police. Azrael has gone back, knew where Garingham was, and is going to take his shot here at getting through Garingham's grave. Meanwhile, Jackimus did in fact run back towards Hawk's Nest, is very likely to take out this golem with no problem.
Absolutely. Looks like it's just going to be a Hillmore fight, but should not be terribly threatening. I'm very interested to see what is in this search pod.
Absolutely. Jackimus not playing around here. Gonna heal up at 30. He's gotten through most of the hit points. 17 was enough. What do we find? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
The troll siege on. We're gonna defeat a golem through everything and find nothing.
And alrighty, just going through quickly in my head, we do still need to find that token, and I believe the only spots that we can find it now are either in that search spot, which is not guaranteed, or we may have to go back to the bottom of the grave. It looks like Azrael either chose to left or got bopped out himself, but gonna check the coordinates now.
Absolutely. And for those who are unaware, Azrael does not have the Edric's armor, so taking a significant amount of damage, we're going to see. Oh, we do have search coordinates, 32 south and 23 east. Not the easiest of coordinates to count out here.
Not the easiest, but probably not quite requiring a princess rescue just yet for that GPS system. However, yes, taking damage from those swamp tiles. Now, let's think about this. Does this have to be the token? Normally, on that search spot, you would find either the sword, the harp, could find the armor, could find the stones. No, it could in fact be the death necklace. So for Azrael, not having the armor, not having the death necklace, not sure what could be there yet. However, in this low strength seed, either of them could change this race.
Absolutely. Going back to the knowledge is power. Azrael now having the information. Will they try the trap tile? We'll have to see.
That's right. Azrael also doesn't quite know what is waiting for him over in Hawk's Nest. May choose to go back there first with his shiny sword and his powerful heal more spell.
Absolutely, and as we all know, it'll be a waste of time, but Azrael not aware of that knowledge. Going back to Garingham.
Just a quick reminder for those in chat who may not be aware, the Death Necklace in Dragon Warrior Randomizer, a bit more valuable than in the vanilla game. In the vanilla game, it does absolutely nothing, but in this version of Dragon Warrior, it will take away 25% of your max HP in exchange for 10 power, which in this seed could make all the difference in trying to win that Dragon Lore 2 fight.
Absolutely. We have not seen a whole lot of power gains here. No level has been specifically high in power. We've seen a lot of agility, some health, some magic. We have all the spells we need. We just don't have the stats or the gear we need.
Alrighty, 48 minutes into this seed, Big Slamu showing up. Hello there, welcome in. What have you missed so far? Well, this one's been quite the slobber knocker. Strength is really low. Jackimus finding Stones of Sunlight Cave around 2 minutes into the seed, picked up some torches, wisely used them to get himself to a slight lead. We did pick up Heal More at level 5, I do believe. Both runners picking that up about a minute apart from each other. Azrael getting a little bit better battles here. Jackimus with the exploration advantage does have that Airdrix armor over AzraelRavenheart, but that's about all the difference here.
Absolutely, and if you are just joining us, if you just saw Jackimus's fight against that armored knight, that AK-47, they do have DL2 breath. Having to survive on that last Hillmore and luckily able to run away. Jackimus finding the 32 South 23 East coordinates could still be an important item.
Absolutely. Taking a moment to write those down, make sure he doesn't get them wrong. He does know, again, if I am not mistaken, that Airdrix token that he needs in order to get Sharlock access can only be at this point in one of two places, either on the map or in that last chest. AzraelRavenheart going to pick himself up that free magic key. Can he make it down to the bottom? Can he confirm for us where that token might be?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, we're keeping an eye on this. There are only 2 search spots left available, I believe. Like you said, the bottom of Garenham or the search spot. But sadly, Azrael encountering the werewolf and that werewolf sending him back to the king.
So unfortunately, the bottom of grave will remain a mystery. Jackimus here carefully counting. It looks like he's decided, it looks like he may have gotten himself a potential, he thinks he knows that the search spot is over there somewhere to the east, not going to rescue the princess here. No, I believe what he's doing here, he's got himself a reference point on the other side of that river, knows it's the opposite continent, is going to try to count these out by hand. Hopefully his reference point was correct. This could be a huge play here if Jackimus can make this count.
That would also be absolutely amazing. I was always horrible at counting out the spot in the Vanilla Dragon Warrior. Looks like he's walking around almost randomly, but definitely has a plan of some kind.
Looks like Jackimus is trying to get back to that spot that he had noted for himself is on the southernmost coast here. Not sure exactly what he's thinking. Again, I think he's still looking for that reference point. Again, I have to imagine that going through the swamp cave there, either he has a reference point in mind for the search spot, maybe he wanted to go back and get the princess, didn't opt to do either. It's still just checking to make sure that he's seen as much of the map as he can see.
Yeah, I'm kind of unsure at this point. We walked back and forth. In the meantime, Azrael down in the cave again. Gonna see what we could find down here. Those armored knights, those AK-47s love to breathe fire. Azrael finding the Airdrix armor. And Jackimus reaching level 13, getting that 6, 16, 4, and 6.
Question in chat, does Jack have the coordinates? Yes, Jack did just get the coordinates out for himself. So what we saw just a little bit ago, Jackimus was carefully walking south out of Tantagel, as Azrael is doing now. Azrael knows, just as Jackimus knows, that that token that they need can only be in one of two places. It is either on the search spot or it is waiting for them at the bottom of the grave. So AzraelRavenheart carefully counting, carefully walking, making sure that he knows exactly where his location is with respect to Tantagel Castle.
And Lav, correct me if I'm wrong. They've both found the Jerk Cave, I believe. I know I've definitely seen one. Have we seen both?
I believe right now I have noted that AzraelRavenheart has found the Jerk Cave. I am unsure if Jackimus has found it, but I do believe he has found it as well. We will definitely know for sure as soon as Jackimus locates this token. However, AzraelRavenheart, it seems, has also come to the conclusion that this is going to be a pretty tough count, has opted to go back to Hawksness and try his luck with the Golem.
Yep. And looking over here into chat, yes, both runners have turned in their harps. They have got the Staff of Rain, the Stones of Sunlight. We're still on the search for that Edric's token.
Alrighty, Azrael doing battle with the Golem here. 85 max HP, heal more spell, Erdrick's sword, Erdrick's armor in hand. This battle is not going to be too terribly difficult. The Golem's going to do everything he can to defend this search spot. Eventually, it will not pay off. It will all be for vain. As we know from Jackimus being here earlier, unfortunately, this spot has nothing at all. Azrael attacks once more. No, the Golem's still not going down. Power just a little bit too low.
Absolutely. And while Jackimus continues to search over here, just a quick note, not sure if it's going to matter later or not, the experience gap right around 1,000. So fairly significant. It sounds like a lot. Will it be significant? We'll have to wait and see.
I think it's really going to come down to what's on that swamp spike tile. Neither of our runners choosing to check that tile yet, to my knowledge. Neither of them deciding to go and rescue that princess to aid them in finding this search tile spot. If it's an Axe Knight, that would be the most ideal. That is the best grind you can have. When you have that Hurt More spell, you're about an 80 to 90% chance to get one of those Axe Knights down in one shot. You're going to see those experience levels rising very, very quickly. However, the Golem, not so easy to grind on.
Absolutely, and especially the Arbor Knights this time too. They have both Heal and Dragon Lord 2 Breath. Looks like Jackimus going back down into the grave. Might try to go for that last chest if they can make it.
Absolutely. Yes, it is very important here. Jackimus deciding he doesn't want to take the time to go rescue that princess. Maybe he checked the spike tile earlier, doesn't think he can fight it. Maybe he thinks this is the better play. Really interesting decision making here. Going back into this grave that has so far claimed the lives of both our runners before they could get all of its contents.
Absolutely, and as we talk about that, a Maggie Drakey. So, sometimes threatening, sometimes not.
Little bit threatening earlier on in the seed with that Sleep and Hurt More combination, but no, at level 13, not so much. Oh, unfortunately, AzraelRavenheart trying to carefully do battle with a red dragon, not sure exactly where he encountered it, but again, with that low power, it is a long drawn out fight with that low max HP, and also very important to note, AzraelRavenheart still sitting on that large shield, will likely do so for the rest of the seed. Very big 10 defense difference between our runners, and the red dragon does claim Azrael's life. As what does Jackimus find?
He finds the dragon scale cast outside immediately, so now we know.
Chat confirming for me that red dragon was the swamp tile monster. So red dragon, ultimate guardian of the princess in this particular seed. Now Jackimus knows he needs to find those search coordinates as soon as he can. AzraelRavenheart looks like he's back in the swamp cave, maybe opting to do battle again with the red dragon. Yes, that's what he's going to do. I imagine he's going to be a little bit more careful this time. And we now know from Jackimus' side, if he can pick up this princess, if he can bring her back to the castle, that's going to help him immensely in finding the search tile spot. Do not look away. This race is very close.
Absolutely. And for anyone who is wondering why the princess is important, when you rescue Gwaylin, the princess, she gives you Gwaylin's love, who tells you the precise number of tiles you are away from Tentacle Castle, which absolutely coordinates from the spots given to you from the old man in Cantlin.
Exactly, using that GPS system, synchronizing up with the satellites orbiting Tantagel, you will know exactly what your distance is from Tantagel Castle. Going to be able to find those coordinates easily. We have synchronized red dragon fights. Jackimus looking to rescue the princess. Azrael looking to rescue the princess. Azrael going to take this red dragon down on the second attempt. Will grab the princess. Will have a very slight advantage in getting this token.
Absolutely. And for those who are wondering about the GPS, it is a bit of an inside joke for the Dragon Warrior game. The Gwaylin positioning system, as though you don't achieve it until rescuing Princess Gwaylin.
Exactly. Azrael is going to grab that princess, has that outside spell, does not need to fight the red dragon again. Gonna pop that return spell, bring the princess back, be rewarded with Gwaylin's everlasting love. That does two things for you when used as an item. Tells you how much experience you need to the next level, not nearly as important as your position on the map. Jackimus has won that fight against the red dragon. Also does have, I believe, just enough MP for the outside return combo. Only a few seconds behind AzraelRavenheart. And as we check the experience, 1,000 experience separates our runners. With these two grind tiles in mind, that could be huge.
Absolutely. So we have one person with knowledge, we have one person with experience gain. Yes, I completely agree. Do not look away. This is going to get good really fast.
And I think, again, we do need to call attention to two things here. Jackimus running that strength agility build. His HP is going to be a little bit lower than Azrael's for the entirety of the seed. AzraelRavenheart's agility going to be a little bit lower than Jackimus. Jackimus reaping the full benefits of this particular build. Between the silver shield and his higher agility, he's going to be taking less damage from whichever tile he chooses to grind over the course of what is likely to be a long grind section of this run. The strength values remain low.
Yep, and I was just looking when Jackimus goes over to refill the MP cast return just to get out that much quicker. Not a lot of health, so we're going to have to grind something at some point to get us some health and some strength before going into Charlock.
Alrighty, AzraelRavenheart making his way back through that swamp cave, uses the Gwaylin positioning system, counts very, very carefully, deciding which way he wants to walk, has picked up that token. But meanwhile, right behind him, right on his tail, is Jackimus, going to do not quite the same thing, does walk up before using Gwaylin's love, but will know shortly that the direction he needs to go is just a little bit to the south, just a little bit to the west.
Absolutely, and watch him count this out.
Question in chat, maybe a Charlock grind. Yes, that could also be a possibility here. How's Hawksness non-golem zone? Not quite sure. I do believe there are green dragons there. So maybe could opt to, instead of fighting those somewhat nasty red dragons, somewhat nasty golems, could choose a slightly slower but perhaps slightly more efficient grind. That is indeed a heads-up observation from chat.
Absolutely. I have not seen a very good grind option, but in the meantime, Azrael finding the jerk cave, getting the rainbow drop, so let's see what the play is going to be here.
Going back into Cole, gonna get that heal, maybe even gonna pop into Sharlock here on Jackimus' side. We do see one more quick Kaishin no Ichigeki helping him pick off that blue dragon. Now, the question has been, does Jackimus know where that jerk cave is? I do believe he did indeed pick up that token. Needs to go turn in all of those items for the rainbow drop, is heading in for this cave. Yes, Jackimus does know where the jerk is, does have the rainbow drop in hand. We have Sharlock access for both our runners.
Absolutely. We can light up the token over there on Jackimus. For what it's worth, does have the rainbow drop. Going back into Garenham, purchasing some herbs. Typically a strategy you would see if they're going to dive.
Definitely wanting to top off that herb count now. Herbs can be very, very useful for topping off your HP as you contend with whatever nastiness awaits you in Sharlock. One other thing to consider is whether or not one of our runners decides to go back to Catlin and pick up some fairy water, as in this version of Dragon Warrior Randomizer, fairy water does deal 9 to 16 damage to any enemy in the game, up to and including that final Dragon Lord boss. And with our MP values very high, with our strength very low, that fairy water could make all the difference. Jackimus at 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 46 seconds has dropped that rainbow bridge, is going to enter Sharlock and see what he can find.
I completely agree. It could be end up being a fairy water strat. Repel has lost its effect, and not a whole lot happening here on the gates to Sharlock.
Question in chat, is this winner go home? Absolutely it is. Jackimus had a bye, but now is 1-1. AzraelRavenheart won his first match, but also went 1-1 after that. Yes, whoever loses this race will be out of this tournament. And folks, this could not be any closer. It looks like on Azrael's screen, he has opted to start his grind against the Red Dragon in the Swamp Cave. Jackimus choosing to go in and see what he can see in Sharlock. Differing strategies all throughout the seed. Azrael getting his payment in an experience lead, but will it matter? Stay tuned.
Absolutely, and it looks like Jackimus kind of making his seed more exploratory, opting to fight some of these enemies as opposed to just try to run, understanding the speed, agility, and the power. Not going to cut it for making a complete run, but just gaining some information. Defeating the Snowman.
Maybe wants to see what enemies there are in Sharlock, wants to see how nasty they are, how much his agility build is going to pay off. Rowdy Sniper noting, wow, a defense broken Stoneman, indeed. That is the payoff of the Silver Shield and the agility bonus from his particular name choice. He is already at least 100 defense.
Looking over here, Azrael going back down into the cave. Looks like it's going to be still some kind of grind. Not quite sure where Azrael is going, but Jackimus definitely has to burn a heal more. We kind of established at this point this run is exploratory, not a Dragon Lord kill dive.
Absolutely not. I haven't seen their strength values recently, but just going based off how much damage Jackimus is doing to this red dragon, likely cannot hope to fight the Dragon Lord himself, and unfortunately the red dragon snipes him with an exact 35. Jackimus gets bopped out of Sharlock, sent back to Tantagel. Just a little bit unlucky there.
Over here on the right, Azrael taking on the Stone Man. Does not have the Silver Shield, but continues to grind, defeats the Stone Man. Looks like just kind of grinding levels and XP here. What do you think, Lav? Is that the game here?
It's anybody's guess right now. I mean, AzraelRavenheart looks like Azrael has decided that, wow, Have we flipped our screens? Are we in the Twilight Zone? Azrael's going back into Charlock. Jackimus looking like he may want to deal with this red dragon and make up this experience difference. No, is just going over to the other side. But again, on the right side of our screen at 1 hour and 8 minutes, we do have Azrael entering Charlock to see what he can see.
Yep, over here at the left, kind of seeing where Jackimus is going, easily defeats the Mega Wyvern. Maybe they think they find a farming spot?
I suspect that this is either a farming spot play, or it could be, if Cantlin is on this side of our world, maybe looking to stock up on some fairy water in advance of that Dragon Lord 2 fight. As I explained before, 9 to 16 damage is significant, up to about 135 attack power, which, folks, I don't even need to look at these stats. We are nowhere close to that value.
Yep, Azrael over here looks like they did a couple of laps around level 1 of Charlock trying to farm some items, didn't find anything, is progressing, has now found a Star Wyvern with sleep, which is more annoying than anything at this stage.
All right, chat, looks like I stand corrected. Charlock Castle is on the other side of the swamp cave. That is where Jackimus is going to go this night. Gonna try to stop him with that stop spell, but has no effect against Erdrick's armor. And now Jackimus is going to do a Charlock grind, is content with what he saw on that first floor. Azrael going to dive, see what he can see. The Star Wyvern putting Jackimus to sleep, but no. Jackimus immediately wakes up, breaks out that Hurtmore, wins the fight.
Looks like Jackimus achieving level 14, joining Azrael, getting the 3, 2, 14, 10, and the new spell. Azrael finding out the first floor has the Fun Police, and so is Jackimus. So if we're going to fight Fun Police, we might as well do it as we encounter it in Hawksnest, right?
Indeed, and extremely unfortunate here, Jackimus with, I believe, a triple run fail against the Red Dragon, deciding that maybe it's not quite worth the amount of resources it would take to kill one, AzraelRavenheart finding out the hard way that indeed they are very difficult to kill with the power that we have.
So, Lav, I'm looking at this. There definitely needs to be a level grind to 15 at least, 16 maybe. Where can we do this? I mean, I'm honestly thinking there's not a lot of spots.
There really are not very many great choices in this seed. AzraelRavenheart doing a little dance on the damage tiles, not taking any damage because of his Erdrick's armor. Jackimus maybe considering doing a dive to a different floor, maybe even considering trying to get all the way to that spike tile at the very bottom, but no, is going to walk back, is content to just try to get what experience he can here. Now AzraelRavenheart is going to cast Hurtmore on this green dragon. No effect, unfortunately. However, if he can win this fight, he will get level 15 well ahead of Jackimus. He does. This Hurtmore lands. This 135 experience will be enough. Level 15, what does it give? No power, 2 speed, 3 hit points, 7 MP, and at this point, a completely meaningless spell.
Wow. That is amazing. I was just thinking about the experience difference. It's right around 15 or 1600 before Jackimus just defeated that last enemy. It's 1500 now.
Not quite the worst level 15 I've ever seen, but extremely disappointing one. Jackimus taking a peek at his stats, 51 power, and with Azrael already getting level 15, we know he'll still be at 51 power. Folks, strap in. We're not done for a while here.
So looking over at chat, yes, possibly worst level 15 ever. Where do you think the key is going to be? Where do you think? Is it going to be 16, 17? I'm really hoping not 20, personally.
I'm hoping not 20. I have seen a little bit of not specifically a rubber band mechanic, so to speak, but generally in a seed like this where we started with 7 power and 13 levels later, 14 levels later, in fact, we've only gained 44. So you would expect to see at some point a large jump in strength. Maybe we see it at 16, maybe we see it at 17. Not sure just yet, but hopefully soon.
Absolutely. Looking over here in chat, no, please not 51. I'm not even sure if Dragon Warrior goes that high. But please not level 51. We did chat earlier about all that fairy water, so maybe it's a fairy water randomizer.
I am it's very interesting that at this point, neither of our runners have opted to go and get that fairy water, just choosing to try to battle it out here in Charlock. And AzraelRavenheart's taking a peek here. Jackimus, 130 MP. That is approximately 16 heal mores. It would not take a lot of power for these runners to be able to win. Unfortunately, it's going to take a lot more than what they have.
Absolutely, and we still have the trap tile at the Dragon Lord level, and if that is an AK-47, we know they have Dragon Lord 2 breath, plus a heal, which could cost you an extra spell.
Chat noting that vanilla Dragon Warrior 1 max level is 30. I do believe that's the same in Randomizer. Haven't actually had to go to level 30 to win one just yet. But if we continue to see low power here, we might get close. It remains to be seen. However, one thing that we should note, we have not seen the Death Necklace, and if I am not mistaken, we have full cleared this seed, aside from what's in the bottom of that Charlock treasury. The Death Necklace should be waiting for both of our runners at the very bottom. Now, unfortunately, the Death Necklace's main benefit is when you have high HP. You want about 130 or so that when you slap that on and get penalized for 25% of your max, you can still comfortably fight the Dragon Lord. So we're going to need to see a lot of HP and ideally a lot of power before we finish up here, regardless of whether we find a Death Necklace or not.
And in the meantime, we have Star Wyverns from all over the place, casting sleep, keeping our racers asleep, and continually attacking. Not a very fun run for either one of them at this point in Charlock.
Question in chat is, as strength HP, I believe so, with the capital AZ, have been seeing a difference in stats on both sides here. So Jackimus confirmed in IRC, he's running strength agility, so has higher agility, lower HP. AzraelRavenheart should be on the classic strength HP, going to have that higher HP, but that lower agility. So again, want to stress, the defense is always going to be higher on Jackimus' side. The HP is always going to be higher on Azrael's side. Which one will pay off remains to be seen.
Absolutely, and it looks like neither runner taking the Dragon Lord dive seriously at the moment, completely attacking and killing mobs they might be able to run away from. The experience grind right now looks like around 1,500, if I'm correct.
Yeah, getting pretty close there. AzraelRavenheart needs about 1,000. Jackimus going to need about, I want to say about 800 more experience himself. Jackimus right now on the diamond floor, I believe 1 or 2 floors removed from the next zone here. Haven't seen any fun police on this particular zone. For those in chat not familiar, Charlock is broken up into 3 different enemy zones. You've got the top 3 floors, the middle 3 floors, and the last 3 floors, all with different enemies each. And we are getting more and more information as our runners dive deeper and deeper.
Yes, I agree. And actually, Azrael has found a pretty nice farming spot. Seems to find a nice run of Axe Lords here, or Axe Knights. My apologies, that's not completely a thing. But keeps on going.
Jackimus finding himself one of those Axe Knights, and the Axe Knight trying to get his revenge for all the seeds he's been abused in before. Has that Hurt More spell, choosing to use Stop Spell. It is going to be ineffective, and Jackimus does manage to take it out, being very bold there, not choosing to heal when the threat of Hurt More was looming, but is paid off for his efforts. Meanwhile, AzraelRavenheart, I can see they are on the same floor. Jackimus just a few steps away from the stairs. Azrael has no encounters on this floor, is going to get down to that U-shaped floor. Now we could potentially see, yes, there are fun police at the bottom of Sharlock.
Looking over here at the chat, rolling level 15 and grinding on Edric's sword, not a great sign, completely agree. This would normally be very powered for the level in the spot, but not in this instance. Over here at Azrael, gonna check the pyramid, finds a golem on Dragonlord level and the fun police, so this is gonna be a good time.
Divergence in strategy here. Azrael going straight for the Sharlock treasury, does find that death necklace in the first spot. Only thing he wanted already leaving. Jackimus, though, is going for that spike tile, wants that bit of information first. Probably also knows that the death necklace has to be somewhere over there, has different concerns on his mind currently.
Looks like Azrael has found the death necklace. Now we essentially have a race on the Dragonlord level, which is kind of awesome. Tons of golems, all kinds of golems, and AK-47s with DL2 breath.
Oh boy, we've got the Murderer's Row down here on the bottom floor of Sharlock. We've seen golems, we've seen AK-47s, Axe Knights, and Fun Police. Jackimus does manage to take one out with a Kaisha no Ichigeki for that next level. And what do we find on the spike tile? Guess what? More Fun Police.
Oh, that is painful and trolly. We do get the excellent move. Great.
Excellent move for minimum damage there, only getting 54. And Jackimus here standing right in front of DL2. Is he going to go for it here? I don't think he can actually do damage to this Dragonlord. Not sure exactly how much power he has. Does have most of his MP here. If he could do any amount of damage, he could potentially win this fight. Beta Strep noting there is one strategy that remains here for Jackimus with all of this MP. He could go for the Hurt More strats. Oh my goodness.
And Lav, by all means, please explain that. I've never actually seen it work. But Jackimus over here immediately in a bad way.
So, no, I do not believe Jackimus has any fairy water here. I have seen this strategy work out exactly once. Not this exact strategy, not the Hail Mary Hurtmores. I have seen one time there is one runner who has managed to land the early Hurtmore, throw out the fairy water, and pick this thing off with very low power. However, in this particular fight, Jackimus is entirely reliant on landing 3 Hurtmores. They deal a lot of damage. However, it is a 1 in 16 for any of these Hurtmores to land. Jackimus knows he's got to go for broke. Going for it with 47 hit points could have paid the ultimate price there. No. Fired the Dragonlord 2 breath, rolling minimum damage here. Going for another one. No. Unfortunately, I believe he is about 0 for 6 on his Hurtmores here.
In the meantime, over there at Azrael, realizing the trap tile is the Fun Police, looks like going through the same strategy, just trying to survive the fight, gain some information, see what's going to go on here.
I'm not sure what spells we've seen out of these red dragons. I do see AzraelRavenheart really trying to land this stop spell, so I'm not sure what the strategy is here. Chat noting, as I looked away briefly, Jackimus did land one of those hurt mores, but with his MP dwindling, not fight.
Yeah, I noticed it as well. I believe it did somewhere in the 60s. And there we have it.
Unfortunately, Jackimus knew at 13 MP he had absolutely no chance to win the fight. Decides to tickle Dragon Lord 2 with his sword for exactly 1 point of damage before taking the death.
Interesting strategy over here on Azrael, abandoning the fight on the trap tile with the fun police casting outside. Might give a bit of a time advantage. Jackimus not moving over here on the left. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like Jackimus may have needed to step away for a little bit. Not sure what's going on behind the scenes there. No, I can confirm it is not a forfeit. It is just a short break for Jackimus here on the left side of your screen. Meanwhile, AzraelRavenheart has, well, both of our runners really have a very, very difficult decision to make here. You've been through all of Charlock. There are fun police on the top level, fun police on the bottom level, fun police waiting right there at the very end. It's fun police all the way down. And so with that information in hand, what do you choose to do?
And I've been thinking here, thinking about a grind tile. Looks like Azrael gonna stock up on herbs, maybe a fairy water. Besides grinding a couple of levels to see, I mean, Lav, I'm open to suggestion.
I mean, we're just waiting for any kind of good news at this point. Sitting on 51 power, 103 attack power, I believe, for both of our runners. Any option they choose is just going to be an absolute slog. AzraelRavenheart choosing to go back into Charlock. Looks like Jackimus is choosing to go here into the Hawk's Nest town, where we know that the Golem is waiting there. With his 127 MP, he can stay here for a while. Unfortunately, this is not going to be the most efficient of grinds.
I was just thinking that Golem is still hitting 32, 34, and now 20. That's not going to be an efficient grind, but I'm not sure what else to do besides maybe random Hawksness encounters.
That's really the only other thing they could possibly have left. Unfortunately, yes, the Golem with, I believe, the highest attack power of any monster you can see on the map, may be tied with those red dragons. So yes, even with the additional agility, even with that silver shield and Erdrick's armor, these Golems are not to be trifled with.
And a quick note, over there on AzraelRavenheart, still only sporting the large shield, so even missing out on a few more defense points there.
Exactly. Quick question in chat. Why not flute the Golem? I mean, it would potentially save a little bit of that damage, but unfortunately, that Golem is not guaranteed to stay asleep. So that 6 or 8 seconds it takes to play the fairy flute could just effectively waste time here. So Jackimus does have it in his back pocket, does choose not to use it, is just going to go mano a mano and try to get as much experience as he can. However, we do see on the right side of your screen that AzraelRavenheart maintains that 2,000 experience point lead.
Looks like Azrael has found a level that they like to farm in with these stonemen. Running back and forth there. Still a 2,000 experience lead, give or take.
Yeah, question in chat. What's Jack's defense? Not sure of the exact value, but we did see Jack defense breaking Stoneman earlier. So we do know that his defense is north of 100, which normally is a value that you would be very happy with, but unfortunately, it's about the only thing that's over 100 for any of these runners and the only thing that they're happy about in this particular seed.
Azrael getting the fight they probably want with the Axe Knight, the single hurt more, and winning. These Star Wyverns are potentially dangerous. They do have sleep.
Oh no, and an excellent dodge over on AzraelRavenheart's side, followed up by the sleep. The Star Wyvern is gonna peck and peck away. Azrael does wake up and does manage to finish that off. Chat noting that level 16, which I just barely missed, I believe hand 9 power, I believe. Is that correct?
I did not notice over here watching Jackimus farm some golems. Yeah, looking into the chat here, did we notice any? Looks like yes, 9 power.
All right, so 9 power, I do believe, is going to bring us up to about 110 attack power. That's good for about 2 to 5 on Dragon Lord 2. Gonna need a few more heal mores for that fight.
Wow. Did not expect us to be here after an hour and a half on a power grind.
Once again, divergent strategies all throughout the seed. Jackimus favoring the exploration. Just for a quick recap, Jackimus got out to a slight experience lead early, did manage to find Stones of Sunlight Cave with a free torch. Started out with 7 power, used that torch to get a quick level 3. However, Jackimus chose to explore early, and AzraelRavenheart got an experience lead that he has kept for most of the seed. Jackimus found keys early, found Erdrick's armor early. A few things were found before AzraelRavenheart, but at this point, it doesn't matter. They all have the exact same information. Azrael still slightly, just barely maintaining that 2,000 experience lead, has chosen to sit here on the middle floor of Sharlock, knowing that there are Axe Knights here that he can take out with Hurtmore and Star Wyverns here that he can swat out with his Fly Swatter.
Yep, and Lav, correct me if I'm wrong, absolutely, but it looks like we are on the grind to see who can gain the stats, because we're pretty much even on gear and everything else at this point.
Absolutely, yes. We are grind and go mode. We've been grind and go mode for quite a while now. AzraelRavenheart closing in on level 17 here. We'll get that here, I would guess, in about the next 2 to 3 minutes or so, depending on how good these encounters are for him. But yes, grind and go mode for both of these runners. Jackimus ran himself out of MP, is going to go back and fight the Golem, going to try and get level 16, going to hope that it gives him that big level up. We know, unfortunately, that it will not. Azrael going to keep that lead, that we may even see that lead grow here. It really just depends on how this grind goes.
I completely agree with you. Those golems are dangerous. He's not choosing to flute them, which is completely a dice roll. But over there on Azrael, we see them farming Axe Knights and Star Wyverns far more efficiently than that golem over there.
Yes, indeed. The one little bit of efficiency here for Jackimus is that he can guarantee himself back-to-back-to-back encounters here by just walking back and forth on that spike tile. AzraelRavenheart, no such guarantee. Could get encounters on back-to-back steps, could go 20 steps without an encounter, as we see him pacing back and forth, waiting for that next encounter, hoping that level 17 is go mode.
Yep. And exactly as you were talking about, Jackimus defeats the next golem, gets that 951 and new spell. Over here looking at Azrael, about to see what 17 brings them.
Here we go with the Hurt More on the Axe Knight, level 17. Do we get enough power to win? It goes up by 10 and 1 response speed, 11 hit points, 112 attack power. Still not quite gonna cut it. However, Azrael is going to choose to leave here. Maybe just wants to top up the resources. Maybe, just maybe, considering picking up some fairy water, but I'm not sure that even the fairy water is going to be enough.
No, that's definitely going to be on the edge. If they fill out everything, not even sure the silver shield would be a big difference right now.
Beta Strep noting in chat that yes, AzraelRavenheart is just a little bit below that comfort HP amount to throw on that death necklace. You would want 130 is your ideal minimum, because once it rounds down, once you lose that 25% of your max, you'll be at 97, which will allow you to comfortably take 2 of the maximum damage Dragon Lord 2 Fire Breaths, which can do up to 48.
Oh, an excellent attack. 93 will definitely go a long way towards destroying a stone man. While in the meantime, Jackimus continuing the golem grind, down to 3 HP.
Alrighty, so yes, and this is the point where we could potentially see Jackimus start to close that experience gap a little bit here. Azrael chose to leave a little bit early, chose to get those stats up, get that MP refilled a little bit early, maybe could have stuck around a little bit longer. And now, as we look at the screens here, the experience gap has closed to about 1,400. Jackimus will need to leave this grind soon, and it's just going to be up to what AzraelRavenheart sees once he gets back to this floor that he has decided is his grind spot.
Yep, and there's not too much more to be said. I mean, we're watching the grind. One has chosen a Gala, one has chosen Charlock. We're looking for those stats where it will allow them to defeat the Dragon Lord. Now,
Yes,
Azrael
indeed,
going
and,
down to the next level, finding the Star Wyvern dangerous because of that right there.
Jackimus, I just want to say here while we watch them grind, no stranger to difficult seeds. Those of us out there in the audience who've been around for a while may be familiar with the infamous Jackimus Nest Cardinality race from our very first tournament. I believe the only race in tournament history to cross the 3-hour mark. However, that one involved a lot of fun police and a lot of difficult starts to try to get away from Tantagel Castle. This seed is a little bit of a different struggle. Low power, high MP, low agility, low HP, no good grind options. And we see here again, with no immediate choices for a grind option, diverging strategies, AzraelRavenheart doing the best he can, gonna get to 18 here. I would say in about the next 5 minutes or so. Jackimus is still probably about 5 minutes away from 17 himself.
Yep, I completely agree. Lav there. And if anyone is joining us a little bit late, this is a win or go home match. Both Jackimus and Azrael have one loss in the tournament. So whoever wins here will proceed. Whoever loses will be out.
Chat noting that Jake Hoper won a race with 88 max HP. However, Jake Hoper also noting that his attack power was a little bit higher in that seed, made the fight a little bit quicker, a little bit less dicey. However, I am reminded of, I don't remember if it was a tournament race or if it was just a pickup race. I do believe I am struggling to remember his name, Meowth. That is correct. He won a Dragon Lord 2 fight on 87 max HP. Did choose to throw on that Death Necklace early. It did pay off for him. He made some clutch decisions. And one thing we do have to remember, with this high defense, this defense is obscene. The Dragon Lord, if he chooses to bite, if he chooses to use those claws, will not be doing that much damage overall.
Yep, and completely showing here by Azrael fighting the Stone Man. Just hit after hit, not even worried about their HP until it gets drastically low.
Indeed. DH Storm dropping some memes there, not trying to say that one runner is better than the other. The only point that I wanted to make is to not count out the Death Necklace yet. Don't count it out just yet. Even if AzraelRavenheart gets no HP on this grind, could still potentially choose to put it on. Jackimus did get to level 17, did take a long look at his stats, taking a long moment to think, what does he want to do? He is leaving Hawk's Nest. What could he be thinking?
In the meantime, Azrael, still in Charlock, walking up and down this corridor, farming star wyverns, werewolves, stone men, pretty much any comers. They are available for the grind.
Absolutely. Now this is pretty close to a scenario that I was referencing earlier. Some friends and I in chat, we saw Mr. Holmes pull off in a pickup race what was by far the most absurd strategy I've ever seen. And I have to wonder, is Jackimus considering it now? Is AzraelRavenheart considering it now? And that strategy, what it basically involves is if you have very low attack power, but high MP, what Mr. Holmes did in that race, he was theorizing it, the opportunity presented itself, and he went for it. He went and filled up on fairy water, and his attack power was very, very low. And basically, his whole strategy hinges on landing an early Hurtmore and then sprinkling fairy water. Now, what's going to happen there? If you can hold about 7 fairy water, you can expect to do, I believe, about 72 damage. You can expect about 72 damage from that fairy water, plus the 60 or so you're going to get out of that Hurtmore. Your Dragon Lord 2 is now going to have anywhere from 20 to 35 HP. You can chip away at it. Beta Strep noting 4.5 per swing at this current attack power. If you're just going to go into a straight up fight, you're going to lose basically every single time. However, if you bring the fairy water, if you bring the Hurtmore, and maybe a couple of rabbit's feet, you might be able to pull this off. However, level 18 for AzraelRavenheart.
Looks like a 3-5-5-14.
AzraelRavenheart now taking a long look at the stats. This is crazy. AzraelRavenheart choosing to leave again. 152 MP. That's almost, I believe, if I do the math correctly, 18 or 19 Healmores. Chat calling for him to throw on the Death Necklace and go. I do believe the Death Necklace would put him at 92 max HP. The fight would be dicey, make no doubt about it, but it might be possible.
And while we're all looking at those stats, Jackimus over here looked like he was selling gear, thought he was about to do what you were talking about, stock up on that fairy water and do that strategy. Don't believe I saw him stock up on anything. Looks like they just sold and went on their way.
Yeah, Azrael looks like he's topping off those herbs and torches, not wanting to go through Sharlock blind. So doing his due diligence there. Meanwhile, Jackimus has made his way back through the swamp cave. Believe that is the town of Garenham down there. We'll have to see what purchases he chose to make.
Yes, over in chat, if you were told there was no math, oh, there will be math. There will totally be math.
You can always be guaranteed that there will be some important math in Dragon Warrior Randomizer. AzraelRavenheart making the clutch decision here is going to buy as much fairy water as he can carry. I don't know exactly what his count is. I don't know how much space he has in his inventory. I do believe he bought at least 2 and could be thinking about making the final dive.
Looking over here at Jackimus, also diving into the Charlotte Castle, runs away from the fun police and going directly to those chairs. Might be looking at a dive here ourselves.
Yes, chat reminding me to remind you all that we do have divergent builds here. Jackimus on Strength Agility, AzraelRavenheart on Strength HP. AzraelRavenheart level 18, still not enough to throw on that Death Necklace. However, it remains relevant that Jackimus will be at dangerously low HP levels should he choose to put on that Death Necklace. Now, this is no less dangerous for AzraelRavenheart. No guarantee here if he chooses to put on the Death Necklace. However, with those fairy waters in hand, potentially thinking about going for this fight.
Oh, an excellent move. Taking out the Axe Knight. No damage, no spells over there on Jackimus.
Perhaps it's the practice, although I do have some notes for my own reference, but chat asking if there's an app to calculate Go mode for DL math, I'm not sure. What I can tell you, I can break down the math for those who are unfamiliar. So let's say you have 120 attack power. First thing you're going to want to do is subtract 100. That's pretty easy. You're at 20. Then divide it by 2. You're at 10. That is the max damage you can do to DL2 is 10. Divide that again by 2 is 5. That's the minimum damage you can do. So at 120 attack power, you'll be swinging 5 to 10, or an average of about 7.5. However, I do believe we are not even at 120 attack power for either of our runners. They're not even swinging that hard just yet.
Thank you, Lab. I appreciate all the math. I am completely horrible at all that, so appreciate you explaining. In the meantime, Jackimus has found golems and golems and golems.
Fortunately, those golems, with his high agility, pretty easy to want to run away from, does make his way down to the final floor here. Is this time going to opt to look for that Death Necklace, will find it immediately, thought maybe briefly about fighting that Armored Knight, chooses to run away. Gonna look in the center chest first. We might see what else is down here, find some gold, finds a torch. We know it's in the bottom right. Alrighty, top left is gonna be a cursed belt. He's gonna throw that on the ground. What else do we find here?
Looks like
finding an herb, finding a magic key, and finally the thing that Jackimus was hoping to find, that Death Necklace. What's he gonna throw on the ground? Gonna throw away one of his fairy waters. I believe his max count is at 4.
And it looks like Jackimus gonna make a serious run at it. Might not equip that belt until after the trap tile.
Indeed, it'll be interesting to see when he chooses to throw it on. Maybe chooses to throw it on to make the red dragon fight that we know is guaranteed a little bit easier. Is going to try to run away from this Armored Knight. The Armored Knight not letting him go. Meanwhile, on AzraelRavenheart's screen, the Fun Police doing the same thing. Jackimus going back upstairs. Does he want to check the commentator's booth? I wonder.
I was just thinking the same thing. Not sure why you would go back up there. Thought there was a pretty serious run burning the herbs. So,
This is a
interesting.
very interesting choice. Yes, indeed. Chat saying, is he going to heal walk in his zone without AK-47? That might be the play here, but I suspect that he wants to go look and see what's in that last chest. But at this point, I'm not sure what he could be looking for.
I agree with you. We've got Edric's sword, armor, silver shield. We've got the necklace, the ring, the scales. I'm not sure what else we would be going for. Maybe a second necklace or a second belt? Maybe?
It looks like, yes, NYC guy confirming in chat. He wants another level. 1425 is the target to hit for level 18. So that could be what he's doing. It looks like he's pacing back and forth right next to those stairs. Knows that this place is not the meanest out of all the floors. Defense breaking basically everything up here. And yes, it looks like he wants level 18. After killing the Star Wyvern, he's less than 1,000 experience away.
And here goes Azrael over here to our right, running away from a couple of AK-47s, engaging the trap tile. Having to burn a Healmore here on the Fun Police shouldn't be a problem, but how many resources will this drain?
All right, does make it through that Red Dragon fight, still with 16 Healmores exactly in his back pocket. Another Red Dragon gets in his way. No, does not block him there. AzraelRavenheart taking a look at the stats. 115 attack power is the max. Going to try to heal walk. Herb not quite bringing him up to full health. Talking to the Dragon Lord now. I think very likely the first thing we're going to see him do is throw on that Death Necklace, maybe punch Dragon Lord one time for good measure. No. Dragon Lord fight one starts, putting on the Death Necklace. Thy body is being squeezed.
Absolutely. Looking like Azrael gonna make a real run of it here. Gonna burn. Nope, actually not gonna burn anything. And gets the stop spell.
Alrighty, this Dragon Lord fight started off with a punch to the face, but again, he is defense breaking. The Dragon Lord is doing some quick math in his head. Oh boy, hold on to your seats. If he gets back attack, this could be over really quickly. 38 health, no back attack here. Opening up with the Healmore, getting the Fire Breath, 44 only, 50 HP. Gonna take a swing here, 11. I believe that is his max.
I agree with you. Definitely on the edge here to see what's gonna happen. Possible? We're gonna see.
Alrighty, 20 damage now is the count. The Dragon Lord breathing down that fire. It's rolling low so far. 9. Gonna bring us up to 29 total damage. Azrael holding on to the fairy water. Guess he wants to use it at the end of the fight. 48. Big decision here. 7 damage. Dragon Lord breathing fire rolls near max. Only 46 damage. Bailed out there. And attack rolls high. 42, swinging at 46. Wow, and the Dragon Lord does a physical attack, 37, saving the life. I don't know exactly what her damage count is now, probably in the 40s, make that about 51. Swinging on 48, again, not safe. There are no good decisions here to make.
And while we watch this, over on the left, Jackimus on the Dragon Lord floor. Looks like they're approaching the Dragon Lord.
60, I believe 71 is the count. Still having to make some clutch decisions here. Max HP of 94. We need a good cooperative Dragon Lord. 11, I believe he's in the 80s. I am not sure the exact count. This is going to be an absolute nail biter. Now that he is down to 6 heals, rolls that fairy water, rolls 14 near max. And I believe we're up to the 90s in damage. And now, breathing fire again, a medium roll. Very safe attack here. Fairy water rolls for 12. I believe now we're at about 108 damage. running the heal more again, gets another medium fire breath. Was thinking about maybe the heal, maybe the hurt more. No, goes for the fairy water instead. Rolls 10. So I believe now we're up to 116 damage. This is a winnable fight, but it's by no means a lock. Dragon Lord attacks again. Azrael returns in kind. I believe our damage is around 120. This is an absolute nail biter. Dragon Lord attacks again. Azrael responds in kind once again. 11 damage, 130 or so is the damage tally, if I am not mistaken.
As we go along, over on the left, Jackimus defeating the trap tile, engaging the Dragon Lord, but it looks like Azrael has done it.
AzraelRavenheart has done it. Throw out your GGs for a clutch, incredibly clutch set of decisions. Throwing the fairy water, throwing the attacks, making the difficult calls. AzraelRavenheart finishes off the fight with 7 damage, and he has finished first place with an official SRL time of 1:53.26. A hard-won victory if I've ever seen one.
Absolutely did not have any faith in that fight. It was definitely a difficult one. Jackimus continuing to engage the Dragon Lord here while Azrael rescuing the princess and getting the congratulations, getting those GGs in chat.
Chat noting that Jackimus maybe mistook a fairy flute for fairy water. I have almost done the same thing myself, miscounting my fairy water counts, but it looks like it hasn't punished himself a little bit too much here. Also at level 18, not choosing to throw on the death necklace is really going to maybe rely on that fairy water damage. Not going to be, maybe he'll choose to throw the death necklace after he tosses all this fairy water. This would be a very interesting set of decisions. Nothing is guaranteed in this race. I don't know how much damage Jackimus got out of those fairy waters. Probably something in the 40s. Is attacking here, rolls for 7 damage without that death necklace on. With his max HP, I'm not sure how easily he can win this. 6 damage. Oh man, barely tickling this Dragon Lord.
Absolutely. And I believe chat was right. I saw the fairy flute get played. I was not sure if it was something I was not aware of in the randomizer. But you know, if they were doing it. But yeah, those hits are really low.
They really are low. Now, chat making some keen observations here. Jackimus could be hoping for some doubles with his high defense if the Dragon Lord chooses to do physical attacks. He could be trying to run the Dragon Lord up. Oh, he landed the Hurt More! He went for the Hail Mary Hurt More, and it landed. I don't know what the damage count is, but this could allow him to win the fight. I don't know how much damage, probably about 40, probably in the hundreds or so. With that fairy water damage, he might win this fight. This would be crazy. Hits the Dragon Lord for 6. Between the fairy water and the heal more, he must be around the 120 damage mark. Gonna swing for 6 again. He's going to swing here on 48. Knows he has to go for it, and he's done it, folks. Jackimus has won the Dragon Lord 2 fight. Finishes barely behind, 3 minutes behind, 1:56.24. The final time he finished in second. He may be out of the tournament, but that was a hard-won victory if I've ever seen one. What a race. Please throw your GGs in the chat.
Absolutely. That was an amazing hurt more. I believe it landed for 63. That was an amazing fight. Definitely get those GGs in chat. And in the meantime, I believe Azrael has joined us in the channel.
Oh my goodness, Azrael, GG. That was an incredible race on both sides. Can you just tell me a little bit about how you felt at the very start of that scene, and we'll work our way forward. This was a crazy race.
Yeah, the start was a little interesting. We didn't have a terribly large amount of options for EXP early, with not enough attack power for the magicians, and then if you went too far south, you just got Sharlock enemied. Once I saw the torch, I kind of had my game plan of torching magicians, and then a few levels later, hello Jet Seed, we have Hurtmore, and then, of course, like any good Jet Seed nowadays, one of your stats just trolls you until like level 18 or 19. And the Jet Seed suddenly becomes significantly not a Jet Seed.
Absolutely. Once you see that hurt more at level 5, which on my notes here was achieved in about 9 minutes 30 seconds for Jackimus, who I believe found those torches a little bit before you did, but you were not that far behind, about a minute or so to get to that level 5, and then it was ideally off to the races, with the exception of that strength gain. So now I do want to turn it over to Jackimus really quick. Jackimus, GG on an incredible race. Can you tell us, I was just asking AzraelRavenheart about how his early race went. Could you tell us a little bit about your early race?
It was pretty good early on. Just kind of cruised through it at the start. Then things just progressively got worse and worse for me as things went on.
It was a series of, I would say, tough decisions through and through. Both of you found towns actually at the exact same time. As found, I believe, Cole and the Sword a little bit earlier at 15:06, and then that was, Jackimus, about the same time that you found Hawk's Nest. So taking a little bit of time to find those towns, and then just even more time to try to find keys, try to find a cave. That mid game was a little bit rough. How'd you feel about that?
Well, we have Hurtmore, so you have to be exploring constantly. I know Jackimus is exploration first a lot in his seeds, whether they have early Hurtmore or not. So as soon as I saw the early Hurtmore, I kind of felt like it would be a little bit more even ground. I know without Hurtmore, I usually play a little more cautious early on until I really feel comfortable moving, but Hurtmore is one thing where I always play pretty consistently aggressive. That early Cole, I ended up finding Hawksness. Like, we just found him pretty much the reverse order, because as soon as I left Cole, I found Hawksness. And I think I got blasted by a green dragon when I was going to check the spike tile. Because if it was something like an Axe Knight, I was going to immediately blow it up and check to see what was underneath it. And maybe even actually would have grinded like 2 or 3 levels there. But I got sent back and just kind of ignored it for a while until a bit later. But yeah, I thought for sure I was way behind when I found Rimeldar. Because when I was on the second continent and I went back up towards the swamp cave, I was like, wait a second, the top is blocked. I can't go any further, which I was confusing it with one of the practice seeds I did earlier. And then, yeah, sure enough, Rimeldar is hiding up there, and that didn't really help my confidence too much. But then the grind bogged us down. That also made me feel kind of bad because I couldn't really find where I wanted to grind. So that's what kind of led me to the look at my 18 stats, go, I think I have 96 on Death Necklace. All right, screw it, let's go.
And that ultimately was a clutch decision. Going back a little bit to that decision about exploration versus getting early levels, I did notice that early Jackimus, even at, I believe, level 1 or level 2, choosing to go beyond that Stones of Sunlight cave. But one thing I noted was that not long after getting Hurtmore, as you had about 1,000 experience lead that was held on to for most of the seed, not making a huge difference here overall, but I would say the strategy's definitely shown through. But right now, we've heard Azrael talk about their middle game, their late game. Jackimus, let's turn it over to you. You've got Hurtmore, you found keys about 25 minutes, picked up that armor. What are you thinking at that point?
Well, at that point, based on the gains, I'm thinking that, I'm going to have a pretty easy time of things. Then the strength stopped. But that's something both of us have to deal with. Something that really irked me is that I tried to count the coordinates out, and I had a marker, and it turns out my marker was on some tiny, worthless island in between the 2 continents. So that probably cost me about 10 minutes right there by trying to be good. And then later, like, the further it went on there, because I'm running around with Repel, I don't want to fight weak stuff. Like, I was playing Strength Agility, my defense was outrageous, so there was basically nothing on the world map that would fight me, so I wasn't gaining experience. And then later on, like, I'm thinking, alright, I've seen both of the spike tiles except the one in Sherlock, so I'm thinking, alright, I'm gonna go down there and see what that spike tile is. If it's, you know, Stone Man or lower, I can fight there indefinitely. And of course it happened to be a red dragon. So I just, at that point, was annoyed and just tried to hurt more of the Dragon Lord down because, well, at that point I was annoyed. Obviously didn't work. Went to golems because that was the only place that made sense to gain some levels. Hit 17 and pieced together a composite strategy, even though I ended up using 2 parts of it. And yeah, it was just a seed where I felt like I got punished for trying to do clever things.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate. I did notice. I didn't notice that it was an island that was between the spot that you tried to kind of make your little marker from and where you were. Because I noticed you got, since you had keys earlier, you got the coordinates earlier. I saw you starting to count them out, and I saw you take a pause, and I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna make a little reference point here, and not wanting to grab the princess, gonna go try to find that, and it didn't occur to me that your reference point might be a place you couldn't reach. That's definitely a little bit unfortunate there. Azrael, to turn it over to you real quick, I saw you make that count, and then I'm not sure if you wouldn't grab the princess immediately or what your decision making was there.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that it wasn't, we didn't have enough room on the initial continent, I just immediately resolved to grab the princess. I didn't go down to the edge, so I didn't have anything to try to make the reference point off of. So I turned around early because I was like, all right, there's no way I can't go 20 more east or whatever it was from here, so I'll just go get the princess. Of course, it took me 2 red dragon fights to actually get the princess because I miscalculated my damage on the first one. I thought I could actually hack through the heal, and maybe I didn't quite miscalculate. Maybe I just like double low rolled or something, but I ended up getting sent back. And then the second time, I just kind of slugged through. We already had outside in return, so it was pretty quick. Just take the princess back, get the GPS, and wouldn't you know, it was only 5 south, 6 west from where we came out of Swamp, so it was right there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's one of those things that's hard to just kind of guess. To just say like, oh, well, you know, where is it exactly that Swamp Cave put me? Well, if you can't see Swamp Cave from Tantasia, you wouldn't really know. But yeah, it did turn out that it just barely put you southeast, and you didn't have to go too far away. So one last thing I want to talk about here is kind of the end of the seed. So Jackimus talked about, you know, he's defense breaking Stoneman. He's hoping that that's going to be kind of down there in the bottom of Sherlock. Wanted to go see what that spike tile was. Unfortunately, it was that red dragon. And at this point, you know, in a seed where a lot of different decisions have been made, I mean, this is going to be a really interesting one to watch back, I think. Jackimus chose to go straight back to the golems, but Azrael, you chose to go back into Sherlock and grind there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the first time I was in Sherlock, which I think was, I was diving grinding 16 in case 16 had all the power, and I was planning on finishing there. And when I came through the middle section, I think I got 4 or 5 consecutive Axe Knights. And so I kind of noted that, because that was basically the only place I had seen Axe Knights the entirety of the seed. I got down, I saw that the spike was red dragons, and I didn't really like low power golem. I didn't really like the red dragon spike either. Obviously, the red dragons, if they didn't have heal, would have been completely fine, but because they had heal and relatively good stop spell resist, I don't know exactly what it was, but I missed more often than I hit. I actually thought that just going to that middle section of Sherlock and just hitting up Axe Knights and The Star Wyverns and the werewolves were a little annoying if they didn't go down. One had fire breath, one could just sleep troll you, and stone men weren't too bad to hack through either. So I just decided to take that instead. The biggest thing that kind of probably bit me later on was I opened the chests in Treasury in the wrong order. I almost never opened top left first. And of course, with needing to open one chest to instantiate a gold grind coming back from grave, I opened the gold first, screwed up getting a gold grind, and I elected to not go back and set it up again. So I didn't have the silver shield, and that extra 10 defense would have made runs down through Sharlock a lot easier.
Yeah, ideally it would. I remember Jackimus did manage to get that gold grind out of Mountain Cave, opened up all the chests, took the intentional death, and did end up opening that gold chest first. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate if you're coming out of the grave. You've got about a 50-50 chance of being able to trigger that without knowing what's inside. So yeah, Jackimus did have that silver shield to increase his defense a little bit, but one quick observation: when you've got, I believe, 2, if not 3 enemies in Sharlock that are throwing DL2 breath at you, maybe might not make that much of a difference. Jackimus, how did you feel about your silver shield purchase?
It was great. There was no physical attacks that could really damage me outside of the spike tiles. So if the spike tiles were basically anything but those 2 monsters, I probably finished like close to a half hour sooner is kind of how I feel. But anyway, enough about that. I wasn't too happy with the way the seed played out, but I'm not too annoyed that I lost because it's Dragon Warrior. Ultimately, it's a very luck-based randomizer. Don't feel too good when you win, don't feel too bad when you lose.
Yeah,
Let's go Bruins!
Go Bruins, that's right. Yeah, at the end of the day, you can make as many good decisions as you want, but once when your strength is low, and I mean, honestly, watching up here from the commentator's booth, I have to say it was a treat for the viewers, even if it was a bit of a slog for the runners here, as we got 3, honestly, epic Dragon Lord fights. Jackimus making an attempt, I want to say, about hour and 10 in to just throw Hurtmores with that 130 MP. Azrael making the bold decision to go in. Azrael, how many Fairy Waters did you have in? I also, one other thing I want to ask, I noticed you didn't throw Fairy Waters until about the middle of the fight, if you want to talk about that a little bit before we wrap up.
Yeah, so I think I had 3, because the Flute and Gwaelin's Love and everything were blocking up the inventory. And the reason I didn't lead with them is because I knew that the fight was going to be tight no matter what, especially losing a couple Hurtmores at the very end of the dive, or Healmores at the very end of the dive. It made it a little bit, it made it extremely dicey, as evidenced by the fact that I elected to go into Dragon Lord 2 with 38 and start with a heal because I was sick of Dragon Lord 1 trolling me. But the reason I didn't throw them at the beginning is because I wanted to see how my damage rolls were going, and if I was low rolling too much, where the fight basically would have needed to be like a lot of high rolls on my end and a lot of low rolls on the Dragon Lord's end, I would have just elected to probably wipe out and redive and save the Fairy Waters so I didn't have to go back out of my way to get them again. But once I was kind of at about 5-6 Healmores left, more than the number of Fairy Waters I have, and my damage number was stacking up all right, I decided, all right, let's throw these and see how we're feeling.
A very interesting strategy that did indeed pay off with the victory. Moonlight, I believe maybe you have a couple questions for our runners here?
No, actually, not too many more. We've pretty much covered the power loss, the choice of the experience grind. I was just going to mention to Jackimus, totally makes sense you searching for that spot. I was watching you walk around the map wondering what was going on, but searching for that spot completely makes sense. when you mention it, but definitely GG's to both of our runners. A great race to watch.
Yeah, seriously, GG's to both you guys. It is unfortunate. Jackimus will. That is going to be the end of his tournament as continues to tear through this bonus bracket. Value V in his rearview window. Now Jackimus as well going to move on to 3-1 here. So good luck to you in your next race. And with that, we are going to wrap it up here on the Speed Gaming Network. If you yourself out there in the audience would like to try out this randomizer for yourself, feel free to join our Discord. Lots of helpful people there to get you started. Lots of pickup races happening all throughout this tournament as people get their practice in. The schedule is there as well. Of course, please give a follow to both of our runners who put on an amazing show for you tonight. Jackimus Wedge and AzraelRavenheart. Archfield Monk here doing the tracking for us. NYC guy kindly doing the restream. Midnight Moonlight helping myself, Lavkin with the commentary. And then please go ahead and follow the Speed Gaming on Discord, YouTube, and Twitter. Follow the networks. I do believe our next race is not for a few hours yet, but don't go away. More exciting action for you here on the Speed Gaming channel. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, for myself, Midnight Moonlight, all of the runners, and everyone behind the scenes, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.